And I need you anyways. We need to get this lift running again if we want to head farther into the mine, but how do we do that? I see some severed wires over here. I bet they're the reason the lift isn't moving. See. Go ahead and reconnect them, Luke. That should fix our problem. Like, these are back. Oh, okay. The circuit board for the elevator contains a puzzle according to the instructions, you need to make the blue and red balls switch places in order to restore power to the elevator. Are you up to the task? Alrighty, so I see symmetry here, so presumably I need to work symmetrically. Where am I supposed to put that one? You solved this one in 20 seconds? I am not as fortunate. Unfortunately. What about... That's not gonna work. How do I better utilize this space? Oh, well... I did that. I don't know if that would last very long. No, it wouldn't. I'd have to get past that. Go here for right now. Back here. Let's double check things. Taking it step by step. Okay. Going places. That was the wrong ball. But I've got the right idea here. So it's cool. Okay. Gonna take my time. Bear with me. I'd like to keep these. Not if possible. Take this a little bit slower. Never seen me do this bad at a puzzle that wasn't math. You know, a lot of these ones are trial and error for me. So I don't immediately see the solution. I just keep going at it until I can get something going. If I were to move this out now, and then move this one up. You would get that here. That here. There. All right.
Here goes.
Right. I avoided chat for the most part. You know, I gotta get into the groove of things. I had the exact same thing. I just didn't put the ball in the hole. Whoops. Good job. So how many moves did it take you to complete the task? If you're really good, this should be able to solve the puzzle in as few as 12 moves. Well, listen, did you hear that? Sounds like the elevator's up and running again. Also, what's up, Holy Man Bomb? On the plus side, it stops keeping track after 9,999 moves, so no one will ever know how many moves you actually took. Oh, the lift is making some noise. I think it's fixed. Excellent. I suppose our next move should be to head down then. Like asking for 2 plus 2 and me answering yellow? Hey man, don't disrespect the yellow answer. The yellow answer is actually next level. Okay, that's what I wanted. Also, I wouldn't say yellow, I'd say red. Who would say yellow? Come on, man. What do you think, Luke? Could this safe hold some of the journals that Grinko mentioned? Well, we won't know until we open it, but how do we open it? The lock is rather complicated. Let me see if I can decipher the code. I hope it's not another lock-turning puzzle. Find the 4-number code that opens the safe. You can use the numbers 0 through 5 in your answer, but each number can only be used once. The small lights next to each row of numbers are the key to finding the code, as they tell you how much in common that row has with the final code. Each white light indicates a number that matches one in the code, but is in a different place within the sequence. An orange light indicates a number that is in the code and is in its correct spot. Tap the numbers at the bottom for the code. Interesting. So, if I'm reading this right, so there are 2 numbers in this that are in the right spot, and there are 2 numbers in this that are in this particular row, but are just in the wrong spot, which means that there are no 3s in any of this. So if I were to use this scenario right here, there's no 1 and there's no 3 up here. So the 5 must be in the correct spot. So there must be a 5 right here. Okay. And if 2 numbers right here are in the same spot, I would be dealing with trying to figure this out in a different way. There's also no 2s. So over here, 1 and 0 have to be in front, which means that 4 goes here. You know what? Let's just submit it. Let's just see what it goes.
Consider this puzzle solved. Huh. Wonderful.
Like a boss. Let's go. That's right. The code is 0154. Some people solve this by entering numbers haphazardly until they stumble upon the solution, but it's much more fun to think your way to the answer. I can't believe I solved that so quickly and took that long on the ball puzzle. What can I say, man? Sometimes the genius is a sporadic thing. Sometimes I look at something, I'm just like, oh, I got this. You know, I just do this, that, and this, and that. And I solve the clues. And sometimes it's like, all right, you know, let me take my time, move things around, and eventually I'll come to the conclusion of what I need to do. You know, sometimes things just take more trial and error. That did the trick. Have a look at this, Professor. Ah, this looks like a worker's journal. This is just the thing we've been looking for, Luke. Perhaps it can shed some light on what transpired here. Let's see what it says. We dug up some funny mineral that I've never seen before here in the Duke's gold deposit. He's sure the ore can be refined into some other kind of precious metal. Personally, I feel there's something sinister about this stuff. Not that the Duke cares one bit. No, he'll have his way, and we'll keep digging. I'd bet my life on that. Some other kind of precious metal? But I thought this was a gold mine. Ever since we unearthed that awful ore, folks have been dropping like flies from some unknown illness. So many people in town are sick that half our workforce here has stopped coming in. What in the world is going on here? Gosh, that's just terrible. So many people must have been sick. Full Sense's run as a gleaming beacon of prosperity is at an end. This town is cursed and ruined. I suspect we're just days away from shutting down this awful mine for good. I leave this diary behind so that anyone who tries to reopen the mine thinks twice. How odd. The date on this last entry is from just about 50 years ago. That can't be right. The mine was up and running until recently. Yes, or so we've been told, but this has me thinking. Both this diary and Grinko suggest a connection between the Elysian box and the events in the mine. From what I can tell, all of this traces back to a single man, the Duke himself. Even if he himself is long gone, his castle may yet contain the answers to all of our questions. So, does that mean we have to go visit that spooky castle for ourselves? You mean to tell me you're scared of the place? Of course not. A million vampires wouldn't scare me. If there truly is a vampire living in that castle, I'd very much like to make his acquaintance. Don't say things like that, Professor. If we met one, I'm sure he'd eat us on the spot. Who are you and what have you done with Axel? With that ball puzzle, it was as bad as press A on the keyboard to win,
here.
and me spending 10 minutes pressing every button but A. It wasn't that bad. You gotta give me a little bit more credit than that. There it is. I believe we've retrieved the records we came for. Let's take our leave now. But what's this? The lift is out of service again. I say, this won't do. Oh, but look here. There's a set of buttons built into the wall. Surely one of these buttons will send the lift back up, but they're disconnected. Of course. Give me one more puzzle. Oh dear. The wires connecting the elevator to the button controlling it have somehow been severed. However, if you can connect the negative and positive wires on the top to the wires carrying the same charge below, you can fix the elevator. To do this, you need to draw lines between sets of X-shaped terminals. Draw 2 lines to connect each positive and negative terminal to its counterpart and get the elevator running again. Okay. Wow, that like totally blocks some stuff. Alright, so let's start with positive here. This goes like so. Over here. So we got positive right here. Negative. Negative right there. That's 2 lines, okay. Got positive. Right there. And negative. Okay. So this is where my IQ drops. Okay, and I have to read the puzzle again. You can connect the negative and the positive wires on the top to the wires carrying the same charge below, you can fix the elevator. Alright, so I'm assuming now, positive to positive, negative to negative. Okay. Alright, so here to here, and here to here, I believe. Yes.
This should do the trick.
Alright. I don't have to do the walk of
Leaves no
shame.
puzzle unsolved.
This one's a real stumper, basically the back of a cereal box. You know, whatever happened to puzzles on the back of cereal box? Whatever happened to toys in cereal boxes? Is that still a thing? We're back in business. The elevator's working again. Used to get some really cool stuff in cereal boxes. The buttons appear to be working. We should be able to leave the mine now. Let's get out of here, Professor. I was gonna say, who's gonna show up and... Hey, I remember this guy. He was in the first game. Hola, friend-san. Friend-san. I'm glad to see you. I was sure I'd never see another soul ever again. Hey, I know you. I was traveling El Mundo, and last thing I remember, I was in transito to Egypt. Tell me, Biddy? How long ago were these fine pyramids built? Sorry, sir, you're not in Egypt. Do you remember how you got here? I haven't the foggiest, senor. Uno momento. I'm heading for Africa. The next minuto, I'm down here. With no one around, I started poking at this thing to pass the time, and I think I broke it. Ay ya. Help me fix it, s'il vous plaît. A good stopping point would probably be going back to the fork in the road where Ray was, which makes this the last puzzle, unless you want to keep going for a while. No, I'll probably call it quits there. Small ornaments dangle from a metal bar, and they've thrown the bar off balance. 5 ornament strings are spaced equally apart, and each of the 3 types of ornaments weighs a different amount. The heaviest ornament weighs the same as 3 of the lightest ones, while a medium ornament weighs the same as 2 of the lightest ones. Place 1 of the 3 ornaments in the rectangle, space marked with the question mark, to restore the bar's balance. Great. Just great. So 2 moons, a circle, and a star are lighter than all of that. So it seems like moons... No, it seems like circles weigh a lot. Each shape should get a numerical value 1, 2, or 3. Do that. Okay, so I'm going to assume that circles weigh the most. And I kind of want to assume that moons weigh the least. But I don't want to make that conclusion just yet. So... Well, I guess let's just assume that since there's only 3 stars, I'm gonna assume that that is gonna be the 2, and then the moons can be the 1. All right, so if that were the case, this would be 1, 4, 5, 7. Okay, this one would be 5. That would not be 5. That would be 5. This would be 5. This would be 6, 9. So that would be 19. And nothing over here would equate that to be correct. And even, oh no, it wouldn't be 19, it would be 14. But if this is a 2 and I put a 5 there, this makes this side 12 and it doesn't work. Middle doesn't affect it? Yeah, that's that was the mistake I made at first. So let's go back to this being 3. If I were to just eliminate all the other shapes but circle, we have 6, 3, and then we have a 3 here. Which means I would just need to get 6 over here. So maybe circles aren't 3. If this is 9, 5. So yeah, maybe circles, maybe star. Let's go with stars are 3 then. And then we can go 2, 1. And that would make this 7. That would make this 4. That would make this 4, 5, 6, 7. So then to go right here, I would need to put a moon to equal it. You know what? That's the first opportunity I got to try to even it out. So let's put a moon. Put a moon.
Consider this puzzle solved.
Hey!
A true
Yeah!
leaves no puzzle unsolved.
Good job! The crescent moon ornament is just heavy enough to balance things out. A single star ornament weighs the same as 1 sun and 1 moon together. Oh, that's a sun. Oops. The strand of ornaments that is supposed to counterbalance the one with a question mark doesn't have any star ornaments. But if you compare the ornaments as shown above, you can figure out that or what should go in the question mark space regardless. Okay, oh, okay. So you can put some math into that. Ah, wunderbar. This guy just speaks every language. 1,000,000 origatos. Bien ami. Now I can finally leave this musty tomb. That might be all of the keys. Is that all the keys? Oh, missing 1. Actually, I should double check that this guy doesn't have another puzzle. Okay. The guy needs to stop speaking everything. Confusing me. Oh, Mr. Layton. Hello, mister. What brings you to these parts? Well, to be blunt, sir, I've been doing a bit spying on you for some time now. You've led quite the investigation, and it won't be long before it all snaps into focus for you. It is for that reason I feel I can no longer hide the truth of this place from you. What are you getting at, sir? You've seen my studio. All those pictures of town there, those are pictures I took. The ones in the station are my work as well. Those photographs have held my interest for some time now. As they should, Mr. Layton. Do you remember our last meeting in my shop? I pointed out a certain strange phenomenon occurring in photos taken within Full Sense. Yes, just one curiosity among many we've seen in this town. It feels as though the whole of Full Sense conspires to keep a secret hidden from us. Your feeling is right, sir. You see, Full Sense is a cursed town. Cursed. To call it such may seem base, but I assure you the town's past is the very definition of the word. Perhaps the curse is a punishment we are meant to endure for the great mistakes of our past. But all nightmares eventually end, and I feel it won't be long now before we awaken. Huh? I encourage you to head to that castle in the distance and meet with Duke Anton. Is Anton the eldest son, or is this Anton the eldest son of the previous Duke? He is. Duke Anton has presided over Herzen Castle since his father's passing some time ago. I served the Herzen family until that day 50 years ago, when I left it all behind and fled. I don't think Anton will ever forgive me. You see, he's a man who abhors betrayal above all else. What transpired 50 years ago? The answers to all your questions can be found in at the castle. I urge you to head there. Perhaps a voice of reason like yours might persuade Duke Anton to listen. The guy's like, oh, I'm going to give you answers to some questions of yours. Oh, okay. What's the answer to this question? Oh, you should go to the castle to get the answer to that. Okay, what's the answer to this? Oh, you should go to the castle to get that. Like, come on, bruh. You haven't told us a single thing. If you believe it will settle the matter, we'll visit the castle. Yes, see with your own eyes what's become of this town. Perhaps then we'll finally reach the end of this dark tunnel we've been traveling through. I believe our destination has chosen us this time. You know where we must go next, don't you? People we've talked to are scared to death of the vampire they say is living up in that castle. And that chat with the photographer only raises more questions. That's because he said he had answers and he didn't give us any answers. What happened 50 years ago? And what the heck is going on in that castle? Almost overnight, the Herzen family became incredibly wealthy when they discovered that gold claim. If we can understand the story behind that, our questions about the Elysian box will be answered. But how are we going to get into the castle, Professor? I don't think it's the kind of place we can just waltz into. I thought by now you'd know exactly how to get in, Luke. What do you mean? Well, we just knock? The carriage tracks we saw on the road to the castle were still very fresh. It would seem that the carriage is bringing something to the castle every day. We only need to follow the carriage to find our way to the castle. Well, of course, that carriage is our ticket in. Now you've got the picture. I'm ready to go whenever you are, Professor. Just lead the way. Did we really solve that? The symbol is actually a crest belonging to the family who once ruled Full Sense. Herzens. It's actually that, or it's clear that the Herzen family and the Elysian box are deeply connected to each other. Okay. About to get the big reveal where it turns everyone into a robot? Wrong game. Oh, you can get right into the castle after solving a bunch of puzzles. Yeah. Basically that. And this is where I will end it for today. Looks like tomorrow could potentially be the last day. If not tomorrow, then maybe the day after that. So yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow, 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific, to continue with some more Professor Layton, where we hopefully learn some answers to what's going on with this diabolical box. Obvious prediction here is whatever was inside the box was that mysterious ore, and that mysterious ore was, doing stuff with other stuff, and it made people ill, and the professor, the guy that we're trying to investigate the murder of, he opened the box and someone stole the thing, and, all that stuff. Anyways, see you tomorrow. Peace.